Hi, good morning, guys. Sorry about the delay. Um, uh, I was trying to get a little bit more information about what's going on Social Security, and I was getting small clips from the um, Conan White, the British expat, um, because there was just a little bit more of an update. So this is just kind of a somewhat open live stream. George is out and about today. He's picking up one of the documents because we make another appearance in the next few days to immigration. And so he's out and about. I said, I'll do it if he'll go do it. So if he'll go pick up the paperwork. And so, but I took small snippets. I know some of you had seen the entire situation with Conan White, the British expat that set up a GoFundMe. If you guys were there, it was a lot. And he was in full denial. And here's the thing, we later found out a bunch of other stuff. Other people posted, like people that knew him, that knew her. And a lot of people are siding with her. She's a good woman. And that, it is what it is on that situation. So let me gather myself here. Trying to pull myself together. So the kittens are in full. Oh my God. I forgot what it was like to have kittens in the house. They're really, really super active right now, guys. I can't even begin to tell you how active they are. They went from 2 weeks ago barely moving on the tile floor to they can get to the other end of the house in a split second, and it's crazy. But like it's like a bunch of 2 year olds. They never stop. They never stop. They bite everything, chew everything. But guys, we appreciate you being here. Again, we'll talk about the British expat, Social Security problem, and trash talk because, well, I'll probably talk trash, but literally it's about the trash. We had trash burning in the neighborhood, and like George said, it was probably an evil necessity or something he put it, but I had to bring the dog in because there were ashes falling. When I went out to the water, there was a thick layer of ash because they had burned everything in the lot across the street again. And it's like I got over it because it's been done so many times in the last few years that we've lived here. And even though um, it's low end illegal here, it is a necessity because um, the people that can't afford to dispose of their trash or they can't get a pickup like we did, there's a market up the street. People go in there and they go to the bathroom, number one and number two. And he had to burn the ditch that runs water because people pee and poop in there too. It was really bad. But all the ashes, I had to totally seal the house upstairs. And of course, throat burning because it's plastic diapers. And so that's my trash talk. Uh, so that's actually what's really going on today. Hey, Carl. Hey, Ted. What is going on? MB was in the house. What is up? M Doggy Full. What's up? I can't do the big brr, brr skeet. Uh, what's up with that? What is going on, Ted? Skytech. That's a little scary. Hey, Skytech. Because isn't Skytech Terminator? Was just sitting there talking about Elon Musk saying on Ted, whatever his name is. I guess he's an acting senator. He went on his podcast, and I was like, OMG. But basically, he asked him how long it would take to get to that point or when. And he said, what's the possibility? I think he said, what, 20 or 30% chance that would really happen, which I don't know. It's coming from Elon. I mean, it's, I got to give him props for getting the guys back home from space. But, and then he said, well, how soon? He's like 10 years. It's like, holy crap. So, but Skytech, that's what I'm to understand is the name. Just kind of, hey, what is going on, Rob Morrison? Carl, what is going on? What about SSI? Is that for USA? Yeah, for Social Security. What it is let me pull that article up quickly. I see chosen one, our Philippine journeys in the house. I'll get through it. Let me tell you what I've got here, and I will actually read what I've got in here. So basically, as you guys know, there are 35,000 people, give or take, on Social Security here in the Philippines alone that are living here. And so it's in the newspaper, and they also released, this is a press article that was released from Social Security admin. So I'm just not taking it off of newspapers because honestly, after the Daily Mail, I mean, I knew that a lot of newspapers were doing the yellow journalism or just them funky tabloids where they never checked, and they're just, it's kind of like TMZ. They get some of their facts, and then some of their stuff is like where they hear it from this person, that person. And we gather stuff like that ourselves. I'm not even going to deny that, but usually we're getting it like direct, like when this British expat is putting his own stuff out. But in saying that, this is coming directly from Social Security. So in a nutshell, and so it was re-put in a paper. So I'm going to read what they have here. In an effort to limit fraudulent claims, the Social Security admin has said they will impose a tighter identity proofing measure, which will require millions of recipients and applicants to visit the agency fields rather than interacting with them over the phone. Okay, they said it was a false claim about they were going to close down the phone systems. Fear mongering. There's like a top 5 or 6 Social Security disability channels that are on YouTube, and they've even been like going up against each other. Well, that other channel said this is, and that's normal. It happens in our expat, expat living here field of YouTubers. It just happens. It's just part of the game. But they're all at each other right now, and they're doing so much fear mongering. And I don't want it to be like that. I'll try not to do it as much as possible. The reason I'm mentioning this and going through this is because they're going to tighten down on the offices. We'll have the Manila field where you can go into Manila. There's an SSA office there, but remember, it's limited. There's only a few days a week you're allowed to call. You have to make an appointment. Hey, stop, Mary. Mary, stop. Mary thinks the kittens are a toy. That was the stop. She tried to pick them up. Stop, Mary. Um, and so you can go in there and do that. And there's an international phone number that they have, but it is getting harder to get a hold of them. And saying that, I changed my direct deposit about 2 months ago. So I'm glad that I did. And before I left, I made sure I had, my passport was brand new, renewed. I have a valid driver's license still. And at that time, we had a US phone number. Like it was on a cell phone. We kept the cell phone active for a few months. And then we went to one of those VoIPs. So we used Magic Jack. But I'm about ready to sneeze. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. So um, I did the ID me about the first month that I was here because I had filed taxes. Okay. So that's because George still had active where he had his previous working. And so we had filed, but in order to go through and look at the Social Security to be able to look at the tax IRS, there's something called ID me. I guess they use that for the veterans too, guys. I just seen a video on that. And it does require the valid IDs. Now, at that time, weirdly, it says that they'll do one or the other. I had to go through the video and I had to show 2 forms of ID, but this was several years ago. They're going to want people to actually do that, or they're going to start making people come in if they require that. So I don't know how this is going to affect people that are on Social Security, that I think they're really getting ready to verify everybody. So because of this, I think they're looking for a way to eliminate people because a lot of the elderly that are disabled and sick, like, I was laid out for 2 days the other day, and I could only imagine if that stayed on me permanently when my lupus has got my immune system and I'm just so sick and I can't move, what that would do. If you can't make it in, they're going to cut your check off. A lot of people get their checks cut off here. And usually they can get them reestablished, but that's because of something going on in the bank, or they didn't contact Social Security, or Social Security getting a hold of them situation. And so this may or may not affect you guys. But when I seen it, I thought, wow, they're going to want these people to come in. I'm like, okay, well, they can go into Manila, but it's not as easy. Like for us from here, I think it takes about an hour and a half. If you get into some traffic, it could be 2 hours. So to get to that office and making an appointment is difficult. It's not exactly easy, but it may not be easy in the United States right now. But it says here, beginning March 31st, people will no longer be able to verify their identity over the phones. And those who cannot verify their identity over the agency, you have to go to Social Security Online. I just mentioned the ID Me. They will be required to come into the field office. The change will apply to new Social Security applicants and the existing ones, okay? Those that want to also change their direct deposit information. Okay, so you used to be able to do that online or call them. I can do it because I'd already set up my account. And I suggest that if you guys haven't done the ID Me, you go in there, you print like your previous whatever year's worth of taxes, and you print like what they're going to be, your payouts and everything, because we don't know if Doge or any of them are going to revamp the systems. And there was a country a few years ago, like the whole system went down and it took a while for it to come back. Just get copies of your records is what I'm saying. So retiree advocates warn that the change will impact older Americans in rural areas, including those with disabilities, mobility limitations. There's people that don't have phones or can't get to the offices. The plan also comes as the agency plans to shut several Social Security offices throughout the countries, and they've already laid off thousands of workers. In addition to identity verification change, the agency did announce that they're going to expedite processing of recipients' direct deposit change as requested, both in person and online. They're claiming to 1 business day. Now, here it was less than 30 days. I went in and my next check was less than 3 weeks. It was there. So I did it because we have a family home in the United States. We have several of our kids in the United States, and I just wanted it here. And so I wasn't transferring it for a no fee. So it was costing me every month. So the savings was worth it. And I don't have any intention to go back. So I felt it was better just to do it. And understand, if you get direct deposit here on Social Security, it's a passport only book, and here's mine. And it's like old fashioned, like from the 80s. It's got everything stamped inside, and I have to present it every time. And I have to go to that office. So, and they make me show ID. They take my photo with it. It's kind of odd. But so that's what's going on. Is it may or may not affect people here that are planning to change their Social Security direct deposit, or if they need to verify you. There are guys here that don't have IDs. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody knows, didn't Calvin say some of his IDs were expired? I think that's one of the things he could be doing. I could be wrong. There was a few expats I've watched recently, but I know that they tend to allow their IDs to expire. And for me, when my license expires, I think it expires in 4 years. Then, I mean, unless I don't even know, imagine how I do that. I mean, I don't know if I can go online in Florida, have it printed, have it sent to my daughter's address, and then have her ship it. It is a possibility, or send it to the family home. But I mean, I've got a passport. I've got my permanent residence card, or my ACR card. And so I feel that I've got enough ID to get by, but you just want to make sure that you're actually doing that. So, but Carl said, good morning. Chosen one. Angeles City is down for power, supposed to be up at 10. Oh, snap. I wonder, was it a scheduled one? We had one last week, but it was brief. It was like for 10, 15 minutes. I was telling you guys I was like, had just fell asleep and it woke me up. And good morning, our Philippine journey. Racer X is in the house. Oh, okay. Hey, Peter. What is going on? Scott in the world is in the house. And George might show up when it gets done. He's got 2 places he's supposed to go to, but he literally left at the live. That's why the delay is I was uploading part of that live stream, because it got heated, man. And when George gets riled up, guys, he gets riled up. And you guys know that, I'm usually the mouth of the South and you can't stop this train situation. And usually he's pretty quiet. And if you see him snap at me, or if you see that, or he's silent, and no, he's upset. I was upset. And the guy was answering questions with questions and he was deflecting. And I want to let you know that on the GoFundMe page, he's still got people that are giving him money. He's got 2 or 3 defenders that said, hey, it doesn't matter. You're sick. You need the money. You asked for it. He said the UK embassy put him up to asking for the money. And it's, let me bring some of this up. I will be dead before the Terminator gets here. I hear you. Hey, what's up, Tony? Hey, Tony. We were going to name one of the kittens after you. We still might. The names are kind of rolling around. We called one of them Calvin because we was thinking of Calvin and Hobbes, and then we was thinking about Calvin, Sunshine Shoulders. We've been watching him probably the longest. And so Calvin just kind of fit with him. I get to the trash thing. Somebody's out there honking. They tend to honk and not yell out who they're after, or it's kind of crazy. Let me make sure. We are expecting that Billig buy-in box any day. Really excited. Ted had sent us a huge box, and there was a delay. It got held in the U.S., and then by the time I got to Korea, it said it missed its boat. I said, put that shit on another boat. So, okay. All right, that might be the neighbor's daughter. I've seen the red car before. Okay, it was just funny they were honking the horn. So where was I at? I'm all over the place. I am hopped on coffee, and I did eat a sugar donut today. So I said, screw it. They said cut down on the sugar. It's making me feel better. It was the medication. It was making me feel like crap. I always send proof of life. Oh, the forms and everything. Yeah, you got to do that, even if they don't ask that. Mike, I haven't determined why some people get it and they don't. Is it because when you tell them, like, Social Security knows that I'm here and they know some people are here, some people don't say that they're living here long term? Are the ones that get the proof of life letters the ones that are officially with an address over here and they know about it? And the other ones don't get it because they're using their children's address, or they've got a home back in the US. I'm trying to figure why some get it and some don't. So I don't know. Hey, what is going on, Harry? Yeah, you got both. Yeah, I would just make sure you guys have IDs. Make sure you get your documents apostilled. We told you guys it would have cost, I don't know what it is off the top of my head. It's probably $50 in the US to get it done. And it costs us $400. We had to do our marriage certificates, and there's attorneys back in the US. So they did most of it. They talked to us. We did it online. And we upload the documents. They verify them over there, and then they redo a bunch of stuff to it. And then we got it FedEx, and I think that was $100 by itself. And so we needed it in order to complete, because you guys know I put off, I think, over a year. It wasn't without attempt. We went in several times to do it, and they're like, "Oh, well, we can't use this document, and we don't have this document." Me and George got married like right at the beginning of the pandemic, and literally everything was closed. We couldn't register a marriage at the embassy in Miami. We could nothing. Everything was so shut down at that point, and that's when nobody was coming in and everybody was at home. And at that point, we had went on to Mexico, I think within 6 months. And then after that, we just got here, and we just, honestly, it was just something I just kept putting off. And then I thought, oh, surely they'll take it. They took it for us to get in the country. And we had like a gold seal from Florida that was on it. And I don't know why I thought it would pass, but I didn't look into that stuff. But if you guys have divorce papers, marriage, kids' birth certificates, it's probably worth having it done. Get everything done, even if they're not requesting it. So far, according to SSA, it's only for a new applicant, or if you need to make change. I feel they'll probably make it for, well, it said it includes I'm sure it's everything. If you need to make changes, but I'm sure they could make it for anything, honestly. And they keep mentioning that ID me. I think they really want everybody, and that's kind of scary if you think about it. We don't know, where the ID me is linked to. Could be Elon Musk, who knows? But they've got all the stuff, and um, yeah, I mean, it still could affect people. There's quite a few here that don't have the documents. And if their banks go down there, there's, them couple expats recently that lost their Social Security access in the US. They could have had a direct deposit here. It just means they'd have to make a trip to Manila. And I have gotten one. They stopped the proof of life letter for a while. That was during the pandemic. And I'm probably jumping around. Calvin could have signed up for his SS here with the embassy, just like I did over the phone. Yeah, there was something else he did. Yeah, he went in to do other things. Wasn't it more than just that? We were wondering about that too. I think maybe he wanted to take a trip there. And I don't even know the sequences. Are we even sure he went home after that? I'm not sure. I didn't pay attention if he had done more live streams at home before he actually left, or did he leave at that point afterwards when he was up there? I wish I could watch more channels. I've been watching more Little House on the Prairie and Highway to Heaven and the show The Resident and Kitty Sitting. Check it out. Say hi, Calvin. Say hi, Calvin. Say hi. Huh? Say hi. Yeah. Yeah. These guys, they never stop eating either. Here, this is Little Miss Attitude here. There's Megan. Meg. Hi, Meg. I'll put you back. Yeah. George calls her tater tot, and we called her nutmeg because of all the colors on her. Yeah, it's great news. More broke expats to do stories about them crying. Yeah. Send a Viagra. Hey, Slick Rick, what is going on? Let me pull up some of this stuff and make sure I'm not missing anybody. Hey, Mitch. Hey, Victor Lee Johnson, what is going on? The Ugly Tourist, good morning. There's quite a bit that needs apostille. Any actual document that you'll use for immigration. I don't know. I would do it all. Now they did take my birth certificate and they didn't ask, but you got to understand that one office will be way different than the other office. I tell you that right now. We've had people that have gone in somewhere in Cebu, one of the offices, and they didn't need anything. They just took the documents that they had. I think it depends on the officer. I really do. Because they were supposed to take the one birth certificate from George, and they ended up taking the original one with the stamps on it, and said it was like they were looking for a reason not to file. And I behaved myself. Scout's honor, man, that I didn't get lippy or nothing with them. I being real nice, and still, it just seemed like every time they didn't want to do anything in the Angel City office, and it was like they was trying to trick us on that one. It was like, oh, well, we got that one. And not everybody's got the one with the stamps on it. So we just were lucky that George still had that one from when he left a long time ago. But they took that one, but wouldn't take the current one. Hey, guys, stop. All right. So let's get into, what is actually what I'm wanting to cover. Well, let's see. Do we get into the trash story or the Conan story? Let me tell you briefly again. I was already telling you guys about the trash. But yeah, they were burning trash yesterday all day. And wouldn't you know it, in the morning, I started laundry. And so I have to hang my laundry outside. And this is instead of it dropping it off. And I've been so used to doing it now. That way I can do like the pets bedding and sheets and all of that. And I had a whole pile to hang up. And then I look out there, it's like 9 a.m. and there's smoke and ash in the air. So there's an entire lot that would probably hold two houses across the street. And everybody uses it to throw, not everybody, but I'm just generalizing. they throw their trash over there, everything. And it smells like there's some dead animals over there, and it could very well be. I think people dump them when they pass away also over there, or animals just get sick and they go over there. And like I said, people use it for the bathrooms, and they were burning that yesterday. It was bad. It was so bad. My head feels like it's about ready to explode today. My sinuses are clogged, and I had to go upstairs and close the window. And I told George, and he says it has to be done. I mean, I was like, why isn't anybody saying anything? And this and that. And as an expat, or if it was you and your house was full of smoke, you'd be a little upset too. And I've had it happen several times since I've been here. And the first few times I just got upset. Well, this time I was upset for about 5-10 minutes. And then I'm like, okay. And then George is like, yeah, it's got to be done. I mean, we can't just leave it there. That's bugs and rats and everything else is going through it. Kids go over there and they're climbing on, like literally they're up there. I don't even know how. But when they burn all the trash down, now you can see the bottom, and it's been piling up for, I don't know, 6-7 months. And you just watch neighbors and people just without a thought, they throw their trash over there. I think some of them can afford the trash. I think it's like us. We can't get nobody to come into the subdivision. When I looked it up, supposedly it is the city's responsibility. When it talked about burning and who's responsible for trash, they're claiming the city is responsible to have some sort of service, but we know how that goes. And that's something you have to accept when you move to the Philippines 100%, is that there's a low-lying lawlessness. That's pretty much any country, but I think it's a survival thing. And like you said, the guy had to do it. And the crazy part is there's a very big public official right there next to the lot, and he's bigger than the mayor's. So there's nothing. Anyways, he knew about it, and so did the barangay people. And it's kind of like, so if you cause too much ruckus with you being a foreigner, then there's a problem. So in the beginning, in other words, I don't know if I want to say it's humbling yourself, because if I was in the United States and my house was full of smoke and my animals were out there, I mean, I had to bring the dog and it was that bad. And you've got the ash in their water, and there's other animals in the neighborhood. Their water had to be dirty. You'd be really upset. And I bet you 9 out of 10 of Americans would have called somebody at that point, but you can't. And I used to tell George when I first got here, I was like, yeah, I won't deal with this and I can't that. And I have changed so much since I've been here. You have to humble yourself to some point to realize, is it a battle that you're actually going to want to fight? Are you going to, just like, it's kind of like this British expat. I'll roll right on into that. It's like, you know, when we decide on a story, we kind of think about it, and there's so many that we could be covering right now. And for him, it was just disgust, because he immediately was attacking people. I'm being held captive, I'm being held prisoner. And in the end, dudes, he actually admitted that he said, well, the newspaper. Then he blamed it on the newspaper in the end. So like I said, I've got a snippet of that where he's in there just he tried, honestly, he said that he was bullied. It seemed like he was trying those tactics he tried on his girlfriend, and he wasn't trying them on me. And George had just about had it. So let me roll into that. So just, um, on the trash thing, I say roll with the punches and just do you, man. But let me pull up what I got here. All right, this was a live stream that we had. And I'm going to play clips from that, and then we'll go into the comments. He's working, guys. This is the crap that we found the day after. I did post this to the members, that he's got multiple teaching sites that he's teaching. And when I went into this teaching site, half the day was missing, and it was early in the morning. So this means he either blocked it out or he had people that he was teaching that day. I can't really say. I don't do the teaching. I don't do any online work or anything. And he has this also on Venmo, and I think there's another one on there. But I believe the ex-girlfriend confirmed that. Yes. So he has been getting money. And he told people it just adds to another, deepening method of like his story. Also, it adds to that online work of this caliber 100% would indicate that he needs to report it here in the Philippines, being he lives in the Philippines. And he's made it very clear he's living here. So there he is breaking the law again. So yeah, it just shows Venmo next. Yeah, that's Vimo or Venmo or something, but he's actually teaching guys. So he is getting money. And he denies in the live stream, he goes on that he's sick, and he said that he's removed these statements since. He's removed the last 4 days worth of his own statements. He said that he cannot get a health certificate. He has to wait to improve his health. People have reported that he's paid rent and he's using the money to live on until he can get his embassy stuff together the next 3-4 months. And so his foot is just ulcers. It's been a continuous deal with his diabetes, and he wasn't going to. I mean, it's possible he could have had a chance of losing his leg, but the article's not even 2 weeks old, and he was telling people that he was going to lose his leg and die out there. It was so dramatic. So I'm going to bring up the live stream and let this play as a refresher, because I mean, I can sit here and sing you guys a few songs, but I figured at the last minute, let me take the clips, because a lot of people won't sit through the entire thing, and I figured you guys could get another look-see.
You stole data.
You got that data from me without my knowledge. I was working at Airbnb at the time.
Oh, sorry, guys.
So, why don't you just simply tell them that?
I meant to pause it. Sorry, guys. I'm, again, not used to. George usually does this. I wanted to pause it because when he got in here, the girlfriend, very nice ex-girlfriend, there had been no contact for years until he brought this stuff up. And during this, we'll discover that the reason he never did get stabbed in his foot. He injured himself during a scuffle because he had been cheating on her, for those that didn't know. There's so much to be filled in on this. And at this point, he tried to use tactics to expose her past. And the whole thing is if you didn't start this entire thing, none of this would have been here to begin with. It's him. It's him that's scamming people for money when he's using an old story. His foot is not that bad off. He has been working. We have footage of him karaokeing. The family does speak English. He is not being held captive. He admits that he's not being held. He has since gathered the money. After the live stream, guys, literally within 24 hours, he took the money out of the bank. This was reported. And he said that he has the money. He paid his rent. So he must have been nervous about something. And so here he is blaming her. The dubious stuff, he tried to blame her for stealing data from her job. And it's like, dude, she's not the one on trial.
He's like that. He would twist everything. He would blame people instead
simple question. Airbnb fired you for data breach.
Okay, so that's enough, because here's the thing. This is standard deflection tactic, aka manipulative people do this. I'm not Conan. I'm sorry. That is exactly what you're doing. Because here's the reason. Because you're digging up skeletons that has no relation to the topic.
I don't know why it's not.
That's deflection. Same thing as not answering questions with yes or no. That's standard manipulative tactics. Like Victoria says, turn yourself in, Conan. If you truly want to be going home, it will become a federal debt once you're back in the UK. Others do it. What makes you different?
Going to actual immigration, and they will take you in.
Yes. But he won't.
Oh God, he won't
sign any papers. He won't do
How
that.
does he know? Right. Simple question. Have you spoken to the British Embassy?
Me? Yes.
Okay, what
Before,
did they say?
back in 2022,
I'll
that you
just leave it,
need
guys.
to
Sorry.
file it yourself. I cannot file it myself.
Okay. Let me, I mean, I know you want a yes or no to this according to you. How do I answer this yes or no? Right.
Okay.
The question is if I'm allowed to, but no, sigh. Oh, you're answering yes or no. Oh, you're prattling. If you want an answer, I'll give it to you. If you don't want an answer, fine. Do you want an answer?
She doesn't have to answer.
No?
Well, that okay. She doesn't want to answer because she doesn't want to lose her cool because she's
No.
frustrated.
Do you want me? You need to listen better.
No,
Do you want
no,
me
no,
to
no.
answer?
Conan.
Real quick, I want to let you guys know that when we had him on video, because this was the third live where we covered him, and then today, of course, that he said in the paper and on his thing that he couldn't even lift a pen. He could not do any paperwork. In the beginning, he said it was because he was too weak. And that was just a few days after the newspaper article. In the video, he's holding up bottles of water showing that he's drinking. And he had the headset on and he's on the computer and said that he'd been weak for a while. And here he is, okay, fully being the way that he is. And the only thing he wants to do is actually blame her. I'm still trying to get over the whole situation. And the crazy part is he claims he tried to turn himself into immigration. He tried everything, and that the embassy knows where he is and he can't get arrested. He called the Philippines cops in the beginning corrupt on his, like, he since has taken his GoFundMe page, and in the beginning he had said a bunch of nasty stuff about the Philippines. He had since edited that like twice.
I can see what you're doing, and I never had a relationship with you. I never had a relationship with you. I can see what you're doing.
I would have remembered.
You're controlling the narrative because
Now I'm defending myself. This is different.
the reason why how I know, because you're the one asking questions.
Well,
Wait,
Questions.
you're here to clarify what's going on in your life, not ask everybody else questions.
I'm asking questions because you're telling me how I should be answering, and when I try and answer, you cut me down. So I'm asking how am I meant to answer? Perfectly reasonable.
Well, that's another thing. Why are you asking her about immigration? You're the immigrant, not her.
Because I'm trying to
No. There is no because, Conan. There is no because. You are you're the expat. You're the immigrant. It's not her responsibility. Are you married to her? Even then, even if you are married to her, it's still your responsibility to do your own paperwork. Like she said earlier, she said it in her own words.
Okay.
She can't sign for them. She can't. It's nobody's responsibility.
Dexter, USA, are those teaching jobs really Philippine jobs? The employer may not have any idea he's in the Philippines. Okay, he announces he's in the Philippines on the website. It says located in the Philippines. And yes, I don't know. We've said it several times. Do your due diligence and check what the laws are. It is considered, online work is considered working in the Philippines. Okay, so social media, okay, is considered that for expats that are here. You are supposed to go to the proper channels and register yourself doing this. And when in 2021, we still have the documents. It states that online work is considered working here. He is working physically in the Philippines online. If you sell anything online, if you work online, if you're doing social media and you're getting paid for it, you need to go through the taxes and then register yourself as a business. And we've said this several times. It is. And he would. Why do you think they're getting ready to do that nomad digital visa? It still requires, if you're on a computer, you still need the proper documents. And yes, whether you're Filipino or expat, Okay, you're supposed to. Now, I know people are going around the loop and they are keeping their address back in the US and they're paying their taxes back in the US. And we've said this about 100 times, which gets people all riled up. And then a bunch of people had hate for us based on it. Then they said we're not telling the truth. And we're saying, go ask the office. I've been in that office, but I'm not the owner of this channel. I'm not the one being paid for this channel. The taxes are not listed in my name. So I don't have to do it. And I don't have to actually get a work permit to even do what I'm doing right now because I'm not being paid for it. But whoever the owner of the channel is, does, and whoever's working like this and getting paid does. More than likely, he's got that money wired somewhere in another country that doesn't change anything. Unless he's some sort of corporation that's registered and a bunch of other stuff, which I don't have any of that information, and I doubt that he is. Yes, an online teaching job, you still have to. Now, the taxes and all of these things back and forth, the percentage and all that, that is something way different. Okay, I'm not saying that just every country is a little different, but you would still need to register all of that, whatever percentage it is, and all of that is how you actually register. So I just wanted to cover that.
Responsibility, but your own. It's nobody's responsibility but your own, but yet you blame her.
No, didn't blame her. Okay, you need to get your facts right, but I understand you're trying to control the narrative and twist it. And I'm not going to get tempered over this. Right.
Okay, why didn't you do your immigration? Can you answer why you said it was her fault? Because you said that you were tricked. How were you tricked, and why didn't you complete your immigration? How about a simple question?
Without being accused of deflecting? That's going to be your standard answer. Okay, the reason why I was concerned that my immigration was running out, and she reassured me that she had found out, looked online, I didn't have to worry because COVID-19 is being suspended.
Which was 3 years ago, and that was for you to leave. You didn't leave.
Can I finish?
2020.
You just answered it, and I just said why. COVID's been over for 3 years.
So about a year went by.
Remember, Conan, she's an expat. The reason why she knows this is because
I was here.
She was here. She knows what it's about. Yes, it's only when during COVID. Worst case scenario, it's only during COVID. Guess what? After COVID, everything goes back to normal. You have to do your own immigration thing back all over again.
You told me to keep it short, so I kept it short. So her question should have been, okay, what happened next? Or what happened next? What happened next? You also went by, life got busy. I then looked into it and realized it wasn't true, whether she made a mistake or whether she got misinformation or whether she's lying, it was not correct.
Actually it is.
What?
But it was only during COVID. And it was for you to leave the country.
Hang on, hang on, if I could finish, I never found that. I went looking for it. I never found that. So what happened next, if you'd like to know, is I got worried. And then, and you're going to call this deflection, yeah? She started to blackmail me about if I didn't kind of help out and do this and do that, she would basically get me into a detention center and cause all kind of trouble for me.
Help out with what?
Okay, with all due respect to Ivy, is Ivy the Bureau of Immigration?
Sorry?
I'm asking you, Conan.
No,
is Ivy the Bureau of Immigration?
You ask her, I don't know.
No, that's the point.
I don't know.
If I told Heidi, oh, hey, Heidi, guess what? For 2 years, you don't have to go to immigration at all.
Yeah. Whose
fault you think it is if she actually believed me?
Do you think it's her fault to believe you?
No, Conan. It's still Heidi's responsibility to look it up and check everything out. Because I'm not Bureau of Immigration. Ivy isn't Bureau of Immigration. You're not Bureau of Immigration. You need to go and check out the facts.
Right. if your partner tells you something, you will sometimes believe them. You won't check everything they say. But a year later, I did address the issue and look into it. Boom.
Yeah, and
Yes,
Smokey's
when
barring.
I told you that I will get a loan to get you a ticket. What did you say?
Yeah,
What
and
did I
this-
say? Because I don't
No,
recall
it's
this
true.
in the
Yeah.
slightest.
And that you needed to leave during COVID.
Yeah,
They locked
this is
everybody
exactly
out
what
of
it's
school
about
and
right
then-
there.
It's not-
All it was is Bureau of Immigration would
Hang on,
forgive
hang on,
overstay
hang on.
fees and
Can
let
you
you
shut
leave
up
during
for 1
COVID, and that's
second?
it.
And
No
let
more,
me-
no
okay.
less.
But what about now?
What
And that's
I
where we're at now. What
I
about
know-
current?
excuse me.
after
Oh God Almighty! You know what? I think a lot of people are going to listen to this and maybe agree with you because they're that kind of people.
It's not maybe they agree with us. They do because it's fact.
No.
And Shane even
What do
says,
you mean it's a
true,
fact?
Bureau of Immigration is forgiving. They just want their money. I know a guy who overstayed for 10 years and was still able to come back. No, fact,
yeah,
fact,
I
fact.
told you that.
I can give you fact. But
This guy.
But you won't listen.
Because you're not giving us facts. All we hear are stories that don't make sense.
If you were being held prisoner, if
Oh,
you're
no.
living in a snake-infested jungle and starving, you'd have been much better in a Bureau of Immigration holding detention,
But
where
can I
quite a
answer-
few
can
of
I
our
answer-
friends
can I
have been
answer
held
that?
before,
Can I answer that?
or living in the airport.
Can I answer that? Yes or no?
What do you
It's your
mean?
turn. Can I answer the statements you just made? Yes or no? It's up to
I
you.
didn't understand the question.
Okay, I'll make it really simple. You made a series of statements which you purport to be facts. I want to comment on them. Is that okay? Yes or no?
Please go ahead. Please answer.
Right. First of all, snake infested jungle, right? They did like the term jungle, shack, and hut.
He's about ready to
prefer
admit.
this to more to tropical, isolated, basic, and simple.
Mhm.
Secondly, there are a lot of cobras out here because there's a disused mine and they infested it.
Mhm.
But how you keep them down is they don't like cats, so everyone has a cat and they tend to stay away. So far, I've been here a year and a half and we had one cobra get it.
Okay,
Okay.
that being said, okay, in all fairness, okay, let's say that's true.
It
Okay,
is.
okay. Again, like I just said, let's say it is true. I'm not disagreeing with you.
He's saying the
What
What does this
newspaper
have
is
anything to
lying.
do with you?
Well, she painted a picture and I was just correcting her.
Who, me or her?
Who you're the one who painted that
You're
picture.
the one that
That's
painted the picture.
You're the one who painted the picture. That's why I asked you. What
And
does
then-
that have anything to do with
And
you?
I corrected it, so I'm a bit confused. She said some statements, I corrected
No. This is what you
According
told Daily
to
Mail.
you,
This is what you told Daily Mail.
and
So
what
now
did I
you're
just-
saying Daily Mail.
This
This is what
changed
this
the word.
girl had been going
Of
through.
course they did. I mean,
See?
don't everyone.
See, so now he's saying the
Okay,
Daily
so
Mail's
let's
at
say
fault.
let's say Daily Mail changed the words. Let's
No.
assume Daily
No,
Mail
no,
changed
no,
the
no.
words. What
I-
does that have to do with Daily Mail? What I'm saying. So you
You're
mean
like-
to tell me you're there asking for help, and then you're gonna give him a story about some random mine that's infested with snakes that have nothing to do with you? To me, that sounds very, very odd.
No, you. This is hard work.
Okay, so if things were so
Can
bad, let's
I
put it in
finish
layman
this question?
terms
Can I
for
answer
you.
this question?
You're an overstayer and you were
Please
broke and you have no job, no money, no pension. Why did you stay out there and burden the family, tell the Daily article, collect
Right, okay.
money, and now you're just, why didn't you leave?
If you ask questions, right?
Why
I'm
aren't
a
you
little
leaving?
drunk.
How about that? Let's start fresh. Why aren't you leaving now? Why aren't you making arrangements? You say that you're sick, you can't get a certificate to
And he was
leave,
working.
and
He's
that
been
it's going
doing
to take a
online
few
work.
months. You have enough to buy a ticket and approach immigration and leave that area.
Right.
You have enough money.
Do you want me to answer that? I mean, then let the truth fight in you. If you speak to the British Embassy, they say in my current position it will take about 3 to 4 months to process the paperwork because I have
I'm
to
not
get
believing
5
that.
different
3
types
or
of
4
paperwork.
months.
If you look online, I've said this.
They
in
pick
an old
people up
post
all the
section.
time and take them away.
If you go turn yourself into immigration, that'll handle everything.
They're not interested.
Ta-da! Turn yourself in.
They're not interested.
I'm not believing that.
Okay, you can
He
not-
said
If you go
that
to
the
an
government
immigration
wasn't
office, I bet
interested.
they will.
That he tried to get arrested. That they will.
Sorry, you said you're an expat. Have you actually been to an immigration office? find that
Have
hard to-
I?
Yeah.
Me?
too.
Well, hold on, guys. Here's where he turns on me again and says, "Have you ever been to been there?" He then says, "Well, he was surprised that I even have a current visa." It's like, yeah. So it's like, I mean, so everything that he did, he was deflecting. So now he's going to question my visa status. Of course.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I pay my immigration. I've got my 13A. I pay everything. I've paid my way.
Yeah, I was about to say, but by your statements, it seemed like you haven't. That's why.
Seems
you
like
sure
you
you
have.
know that?
Wow, that we haven't? No. I have my ACR card. I have my 13A. I am a permanent resident.
Well done. Well done.
So if you would have went and done it, there's no way that you can even begin to the wallets over there if you're looking.
There's no
It's here
way I
somewhere.
can. There's no way I can.
Say he waited for me to be distracted.
There's no
Your
way I
immigration. Okay, so okay, let's
No,
go with this.
finish-
That was the last question about why
Oh.
can't you just take care of the immigration and go in there and deal with it? I mean, that was pretty much what I just asked.
I'm going to put my hand
I mean,
up.
there's no difficulty to it.
Can I? No, you're making statements and you're not letting me answer them, which is okay. Question: will I be able to get a copy of this interview?
He
You
wants
said
a
you didn't
copy
get
of
a
the
chance to
interview.
answer, and you just asked another question. What was it again?
No. Will I get a copy of this interview?
Hell no. It'll be on here permanently. What do you mean a copy? We don't send copies. It's here. If you need a copy, just download it. An inside edition.
Oh, so there will
Screen
be.
record it and everything. Yes.
So there will be a downloadable copy.
You should be able to screen record it, or you'll have to use your device. It will stay up here permanently. Yes, we're not going to remove it.
Excellent. No, I just want to have a copy. But your next question, which probably you won't let me answer, but fire away.
I'm asking, why can't you get a health certificate to leave? You told the people on the page that you cannot get a current health certificate on top of that. That's why you can't leave. And you said you also can't afford a ticket. You said both of those on your fan funding page. Both of them you're saying is true.
Yes.
Why can't you afford a plane ticket? I'm sorry. If David Campbell can get out of here, you just told him that recently. Shall I find it? You just said that recently. When somebody asked you that, you said you can't afford the ticket and you can't get. And I'm not aware that they would even ask him. He's got an ulcer on the bottom of his foot, which is on his page. We showed it in the last live stream. That looks like it's almost healed. It looks like a broken blister. That's not going to keep him from getting on an airplane. The fact that he lost 20 or 30 pounds is not going to keep him from getting on an airplane. When he first started this, he said he couldn't even pick up a pencil. That's not true. It's just not true. So he's claiming that still, and his fan funding page is still open, and he cashed it out after this. And here is his foot right there. But he told the Daily Mail, and in his article, he blamed everybody, and then he turned around and said that he was in fear of dying and losing his leg. And it's like, dude, that's none of the above. The whole point is the more he got called a scammer. Hey, Sarah, what's going on? The more that he did, the more he kept pushing. He did, like I said, he posted new stuff on there and found out that he's been working as an online teacher. I mean, I knew when I came on today and it was just me that I wanted to cover the Social Security thing and the fact that they're burning trash in the neighborhood again. And then I wanted to recover this. It's because he's working here. And any way you stack it, it still doesn't mean as an expat that you're allowed to work online because it's online work and you're paying your taxes somewhere else. In one form or another, it is still wrong. I don't care what anybody says. I know that we all know the people that are doing the online teaching. Okay, there's been several YouTube channels that have flat out said that they're working as online teaching as their money. It doesn't mean that it is proper. I don't care who it is. It's that is the digital nomad visa, which will have a ton of requirements, and it's still considered working. And so I just found that out after the live stream. And I will address really quick. Somebody had mentioned, and I get the no offense. Hey, what's going on? Make it. No offense, Heidi, but you are wasting your time. Too much emotion on these drama-filled expats. They will do dumb stuff or sheet to get attention. Yes and no. This is not about getting attention. That Skeet guy, that Big Burr guy that talks about he wants to join a club of sleeping with underage girls and out there looking and dealing, party favors, and he's out there, using, racial slurs and all that. That's possibly getting attention, but it's still all wrong. And anybody that we cover, it's because there's always a lesson in it or something dealing with living here, or it's just expats that are just plain stupid. And this guy is an outright scammer. So he tried to drag his ex-girlfriend back in there. Here in a little bit, he's going to drag his stepson that he keeps calling him, but he was never married. At one point, he wanted custody, and he wanted, partial like visitations with somebody. I get you get attached to stepkids, but the boy wants nothing to do with him. And he tried every opportunity this guy had. He kept lying about everything, and he got totally exposed on this live stream. And I thought I would take part of the clip and bring it back around, which really wasn't a plan as of 24 hours ago, until I seen that he's got multiple sites that he's doing teaching. If you go onto Facebook, it shows where he is advertising that he has sold or done hundreds of YouTube scripts for people. He's working. Okay, forget about what's legal, illegal, and all that. My whole point is people are going to do what they got to do. I'm not the police. I may talk about it, okay, but it's very rare. Only twice have I stepped forward and ever did anything at the Bureau of Immigration, and he's the second one. Okay, because he totally lied and said that he's being held prisoner. You can't say that shit. You can't say that. And then he said that the family, pretty much the ones didn't speak English. That'd be the second girl's family. And that the area that he's living out in, that he was being held, and nobody really spoke English. And at one point that he was being held, that in a back room he was isolated. But yet we found a total screenshot in January that we showed where he thanked the one girlfriend for 7 years of helping him. From the beginning, he cheated on Ivy. He had been in a relationship with her, okay? And this woman was the one working and taking care of things. Then he'll go into his income and all that. No, this guy is scum. Corruption this, and I tried to turn myself in, and I'm dying out here. And he went to a newspaper because he said the UK embassy told him to actually do a GoFundMe. So then he decided to go to the newspaper just to get the GoFundMe going. And then he went back to the newspapers while we covered it again and told him that he's being hounded online now, and that he pretty much fears for his life. So this just went on and on and on. But in the meantime, here's another part of it. He's been working. Now, whether he's done one job here, 2 jobs there, and he'll turn around and just say, oh, I haven't at all and all that, it's to be seen. But he's still, we don't know, but I'm just saying that it showed that he was missing half the day on the day that I checked, and it was early morning. So either people booked it or he wasn't working that morning. I'm not sure. So get a health certificate. I just read that this morning on that you answered somebody's question. I'll find it if you'd like.
Yeah, you can. But I don't. Now. Well, okay. Technically, I can't afford the ticket until I get the money.
Where's the other one? Where's the older one?
He flat out told people he couldn't afford it.
It has the date on it.
but he has
do you want
changed
me
it
to
several
do?
times.
Get weller? Do you want me to waste money?
Okay,
Go
never
on,
mind.
fire away. Sorry,
You
I
want
haven't
me
been
to
saying
get
Okay, I'm back.
weller?
Oh,
We want
just
you to
wait,
stop
yeah.
lying. You're not
I'm
sick.
back.
I mean, think about
What's
it,
that?
guys. The amount, like me and George was like looking stuff up, and every time we did, he took a chance to dig at us. And the guy, what do you want me to do to get weller? Yeah. You're not sick. I mean, think about it. I have stared down the eyes of sick kids and people and elderly people, and I've got 4 or 5 serious medical conditions, and I still every day take care of the pets, cook, clean, mop floors. I go outside and clean in my yard. You know, I go to the store. Okay, I go out and I meet people. And David Campbell kept his life together. David Campbell made it back to the United States. And we know he's in bad shape and in a wheelchair. So why is he saying he can't get a health certificate? Because he's collecting money. What is he spending this money on? He's paying his rent and paying for food and whatever else he's doing. The headset is because he's an online teacher, and it adds up now. It adds up that that's what it's for. And so he basically, in a nutshell, admits to all the stuff in the questions by the end of this. And he has since removed some stuff, and he's pretty much stopped talking. And I get it. I get it. And a bunch of people are turning him in. He actually lied on the families out there. He's still lying on her. He was never stabbed. And then he just continues and continues and continues. He needs to be deported. He needs to be deported. He's not paying his fees. That's first off. He's defamating her and the people that are out there that's been taking care of him, that he's being held captive. And the guy is just scum. The guy is absolute scum. For nothing else, he needs to be picked up. And I know that immigration has its issues. I'm aware of that. And they're trying to strengthen their situation. But I don't get, like, there's a bunch of homeless guys here that are from different countries, and we've seen them on the street. I'm still trying to figure out why they don't pick these guys up. I don't get it. But then they got World Zoom. Let's talk about World Zoom. But man, they get them when they're at the office. They're running more checks, and then somehow this guy slips through the cracks. And he will admit here in a little bit he never had mpox. It was a self-diagnosis. He never went in. He thought he had mpox. Why? You guys remember just a little bit ago they had the mpox scare. He actually tried to use that, I think, in 2023 or something, but never. That was his diagnosis. So he lied to the paper about that he had mpox. And then the paper doubled down. I couldn't believe it. And if you go to the reporter's page on her LinkedIn, because if you put that in, her name comes up under her LinkedIn. You don't even have to search for that. She was reaching out to people for sympathy about his plight. And we're just not talking about, hey, here's this guy. No, they're like, oh, you're such a great person for helping this guy. And me and George said, we understand that he was sick and there might be some truth to the story. Probably, in my opinion, about 2-3%. He probably didn't have that much food because he's not working and he has no savings. And he's probably out somewhere that's not so hot. We can see his living conditions. But for some Filipinos, that is way better than some stuff they have. That is not that bad. Okay? You know, it's just where it is. So everything that this guy has done is wrong. And I'm personally having a problem because there are so many people that do their immigration properly here. I had to go in every 2 months for the last few years and pay these fees, while this guy pays nothing and just asks for a GoFundMe and talks about things that happened so long ago. So long ago. And then he tries to drag this beautiful, friendly woman down, a mother. She was the one working. By the way, there was a coworker that also posted something recently that stepped forward and said that they worked with her at the call center and that they know that this guy's character is very bad. I believe it. His everything in him shows it, guys. And the guy is scum.
No, you talk about yourselves. I'm fine.
No, I'm okay. Sorry, if you answered the question, then I guess I totally missed that. So you're saying you can't afford the ticket? Yes or no? Did you put that, and did you say you can't get a health certificate?
I didn't. The answer to the question is, can't afford the ticket at the moment. But once I cash in the GoFundMe, I'll be able to technically afford a ticket. Going to get a certificate, I'm not capable of going to a doctor's at the moment, and I think it would be very unlikely he'll give me a certificate. Also,
it'll be so there it is. It'll be unlikely that they'll give me a certificate. I cannot go there at the moment. I want to let you know that he claimed there was a British expat that gave him like some money, $90 or $100. I think it was 90, that gave him money that was giving him some current antibiotics. And that there were other people that had already reached out and sent him money on the side. So when this all began, there were several people giving him money. And by the way, she confirmed at the beginning of this live stream that he had borrowed money from other expats, that she was embarrassed. Yeah, she was on the other end of that, but honestly, he should be. I mean, I don't believe in the roles that one person or the other should have money at some point, but she had paid for quite a bit of his living. And so she showed humility, and she was very humble and felt really bad that people were giving him money and he was begging for money from other expats at a lot of the point. He did not bring enough money. According to her, he had less than, he's trying to say he had over 500,000 pesos when he arrived, 16,000 or something. But dude, you've been here for 7 years. Your money's been gone. And there's so much, guys, to process. This it's way out there. Let me play some of this. But here he is twisting the information. He said on the GoFundMe and his own page, and told us on there that he could barely move. He told the papers that he was dying.
It's finally starting.
He won't pass.
Heal. And I need for that to seal up and get completely better. Otherwise, it will just rupture again.
You said, okay, so I'm done. So I'm
Good,
done.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your time.
The reason being is you're not answering even close to, you beat around the bush on other things. You said you couldn't get a certificate. That's a lie. You can get one. You don't want to go and get it. You said once you cash in your funds. Why did you answer those people? Why the hell did you answer those people that you can't get a ticket? You can't. Dan, he flat out says, I can't. They asked why you weren't leaving. You said it's because you can't afford a ticket.
Your statements just on that.
No,
you had the money in our first life. You already had the money.
He was answering people individually.
How do we know? Because it's public. I mean, it's the FundMe page. You have the money.
You said you've been using it. You hired people. You're saying you're not getting it to it. So how are you living and eating hot meals that the Daily Mail had? Also, we have where you did talk to the Daily Mail from 2 days ago. So you've been in touch with them again and told them that's how you're getting your hot meals and able to eat and heal yourself and hire somebody in. You're just not answering the questions, and you're the one that's going around on this. And you did this because you're broke.
You know what? I completely understand that you're ambushing me, and I completely understand.
Like it's not an ambush. It's honesty.
It's
honesty.
Come on.
You use that page, and it's your guilt that's eating you up. That's why you're not sleeping at night. You lied about this woman on the attack. You lied about her son. Her son's been in the room. Nobody did nothing where you wrote something earlier to her on your page and all that. Nothing you're saying is true except for you needed the money because you're broke. Period.
Okay. So
you didn't plan for coming over here. You cheated on her. You cheated on her with this other girl. We have the footage where you're wishing her a Merry Christmas, showing you're in a relationship while you're with her in 2018. You're wrong. And you haven't admitted to anything or owned up to one single thing.
Do you want to go there about our love life? Do you want to
now he's going to attack the girlfriend, the scum. I wish I could choke him like Bart Simpson.
Came into my life when they got me out of you. They helped me financially.
Figuratively speaking.
And why did get me right? Tyrone, who was meant to be helping out for a year, suddenly dropped you after 3 months?
That is none of your business.
It's irrelevant.
Because he found
It's
out
irrelevant.
No, it's totally relevant.
You were already cheating on her. It showed 2018. It showed Pearlie was actually with you in a relationship. 2018. She listed you. I have the screenshot. Yeah, right from the get-go, you started. So whatever she did after that, cheating.
Well, what
You
about
came unprepared and you're blaming everybody else.
What about Beth? Tell me about Beth in 2018.
See?
Go on.
He won't stop. He's trying to prove her stuff.
Why would you bring people after we broke up?
Oh, we're going to talk about
That
Tyrone.
is none of your business. When people, my friends help me out, they help me out. Why would you do that? Can you please mute him because I
Oh, okay. Please mute me. Yes.
No. She has a point.
Well, then she doesn't.
Why are you bringing somebody who's not involved in the relationship? That is after you guys broke up. That's not. That's correct.
We broke up June of 2023. Can I have my sister that can attest?
That's not true.
Hush up, Calvin.
Yes, it is. It's kind of like if me and Heidi broke up, whoever I date after we broke up, it's none of her business. Why would she bring it up?
Why would you have to bring that up?
Because at the top, can I answer that or not?
Why would you bring that up?
Because bring it up because we agreed, that we would co-parent.
Notice how he keeps saying,
and we would not date other people. Then he found on your phone.
Oh my God! You didn't.
No, I can't finish.
Started with Pearlie.
Sorry.
While I'm living with you in the same house, saying I love you.
Oh my gosh!
See, I'm being cut to pieces. But
I was already out. We were not in a relationship. He just helped me out, and you cannot take it that somebody else was willing to get me out of that pit.
Can I answer that or not? Yes, no?
No, you don't have the right to answer anything.
I don't have. Oh, I didn't know. If I told her she didn't have the right.
Actually, I agree with her. Okay. Now, here's the thing about me. I will agree whether people like it or not. But here's the thing, Conan. She's right. She's right. There is no reason. First off, you guys aren't married.
Right. Do you know what?
Second off, why would you co-parent the child? She seems to be in better hands, according to you, mind you. I'm not judging or anything. According to you,
half dead in the jungle, being
correct. According to you, you live in the jungle, being held captive. So what I'm saying is, why would she even consider you to co-parent her child?
And did you reach out to her son when everything's been done? Did he reach out to your son?
Right. Can I? If you
he
keep
promised that he wouldn't.
If you keep throwing questions after questions after questions and statements,
you will have to answer the truth, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but
that's what it is.
No, it's not. But you keep throwing questions. You just doing.
How about? Hey, Ivy, let me ask you again. Why weren't you a responsible expat when you showed up here to begin with? Why didn't you coming with 5,000 or 6,000?
Can I answer that question? Right, I came with over £11,000.
Okay.
Ivy, did you not? And I'm going to ask a question. Take 9 months off when I arrive to help Ikazil in his.
Hey, what's going on, Ivy?
Yes or no?
No, it's not 9 months.
December to August.
July, April, May, June, July, August, September. 7 months. I have to go back or else we will be broke.
So you're saying you came with 500,000 pesos when you arrived, huh?
However much, 11,000. I think it's more.
That would be about 500,000.
No, it's only around. It's not 11. It's I think 7,000.
Yeah, 6,000 or 7,000. That's not enough.
But I've got the letter. I can dig it up which showed that I had the money. So if you want me to, I can.
You show that you have the money, but that is not what you brought here in the Philippines.
Highly intelligent, beautiful
No, the
woman,
letter would show that I had
kind
17
heart.
and a half.
Reminds me a lot of
Plus
George.
more redundancy pays. So probably about
Patient.
20,000.
He's like that. Imagine
I answer
living
the
with
question
someone
so-
like that for 5 years.
And real quick, just to go back, this entire story is floating around that he was stabbed and viciously attacked and treated bad by both women. I want to let you know the original article, he even dogged the other girlfriend. And then in January, just a few months ago, he thanked the other woman for being by his side, the one that he had been cheating with, the one that he dogged the family, that he was held in a back room and isolated, and they used witch doctors on him, and the mother convinced them. Pretty much seemed like he said he was conned into buying special potions and told him to go off his medicine. He blames, victim mentality, bad attitude, stopped paying his immigration. He didn't renew his passport, and he just let everything go, and he relied on everybody and took no responsibility at all. And he had said that he got stabbed in his foot, and the truth came out that basically it was an old injury. It was diabetes. You can clearly see he showed his own foot. He's got no circulation. It's due to his diabetes. He was on insulin. He lied to her about his age. He lied to her and about the being diabetic, when I mean everything was just going on when she actually met him. But during the confrontation, she knew that he had been cheating, and it was in regards to that. And then even George called it out. Doesn't seem like that she stabbed this guy in his foot before we even talked to her. And it turns out to be he had re-injured or something his own foot during that. And when the cops arrived, because he was choking her, when he seen the blood on the floor, he then told the cops he was stabbed. He couldn't even answer how it happened. And it just crazy. The guy's one lie after the other. So let's forget that he was dogging Filipinos left and right and talking about being held captive, and the lie after the lie. He's an overstayer. And now he gets the right to decide when he gets a certificate and how he pays rent and how he eats, when people get thrown in the clinker all the time here, when Filipinos get thrown in jail all the time, and this guy just gets a pass. I trust and believe if there's one chance they can come after me, they're going to. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. Just like I said, if that was me in the airport, they'd have done something. And why didn't he go to the airport? Why didn't he go somewhere? According to him, he tried to turn himself in. I believe that crap. Chingo de madre puta. So what were you going to do with the money? I mean, forget about how much it is. What were you going to do with the money?
Support myself and also help Ivy out, which I did.
That was going to be forever?
No, of course it was going to be forever. I'm a tourist.
Lay off, Tony. She's mine. I'm getting rid of George. She can come live
I
with me.
was a tourist.
I'm going to go live with her.
Is it my go to answer? Can I ask a question? Ivy, we dated for 2 years online, correct? Yes, no?
Way to go, Ivy. George does it to me all the time, by the way.
Question.
She doesn't have to, and George will tell me the same. I don't have to answer you. And good for her. I myself can't keep my mouth shut.
Well, she's not talking.
You better sit down somewhere, Tony.
Any of these questions anymore.
Yeah, it's deflecting to everything except for what's really going on.
I don't want to answer any of her questions then. Fair enough. And you,
okay, well,
and I'm going to keep accusing you of deflecting and just making statements, which you are.
Notice this guy didn't use any of those words until George and I started using those words. And I just learned them last year, thanks to you too. Just kidding. But the guy is out there, guys. I'm telling you, the guy had brought out my best Colombian. When I went to hair school back in the 90s, when the kids were little, in St. Petersburg, Florida, I worked with a Colombian girl, really sweet girl, probably weighed about 85 pounds. And that's the best that she had shown me, because she's always like Chinga de Madre Puta every time something happened. And I was like, and she goes, Chica, you can't say that all the time. And I was like, hey, what's going on? Oh, snap. Oh, and that's another thing. He'll mention that in a little bit, like nobody knew. He told people. He put his own information out there. He put his own information out there. Give me a minute, and I'm going to play some of this, and I'm going to bring up that other article, guys. Yeah, he can. And that's another thing. You know, Barry Jordan's over there. They've been holding him forever. It's funny who they'll take in and who they won't. But somehow he's claiming that. I guarantee if I went in and said, hey, I haven't paid my immigration in like a year. Do you mind if I clink, man? They'd have clinked me down and set me over there by Mang Inasel. They'd have put me over there in Angel City and set me over there by the food court and made me wait. I'm going to tell you that right now. They would take me away. Dang, man.
Is this conversation not worth continuing?
Who are you talking to, me or her?
No, you're the host.
Oh, see? Oh, I already asked all my questions. You didn't answer them. You deflected. This live stream is forever, honey. So I mean, you've made every excuse.
Right.
You're.
So is this over?
You did what you had to do. You were broke down, didn't have any money. You blamed everybody. You collected money, and you're still not going to leave until the Philippine government comes and takes you off.
Well, here's the real problem, Conan, and I'm talking serious here.
Can I have a word in edgeways? Or is that too much, right?
Here's a guy sick and dying.
Standing after I go on, okay? So I'm going to leave now because I can't see the point of this. You can make out of it what it's worth.
You ain't leaving. I'm about ready to flick you off of there, bitch.
You haven't liked my stuff. So any parting shots before I leave?
There's your pab, punk ass bitch. That's it.
Okay.
Well, like I said,
now you guys know.
Conan, the problem we have is, again, forget what other people say or whatnot. The real issue is.
Now, here in a few minutes, they're going to kick them off. But guys, before they kick them off, if you guys aren't subscribed to Philippine Antics or Expat, be sure to hit that button. It's free. That's all that we really ask. If you guys want to send stickers for George's funeral fund, which is a real thing, it's a real life thing. Every day his life is in danger if he doesn't give me a kiss in the morning. So guys, consider support, okay? Or at least subscribe. But he about to kick him off.
It's not so much as the money. Because honestly, the money is secondary. What I mean is,
was a big deal 5 minutes ago. Now it's not a big deal.
Okay. No, it's
Hear me out. Hear me out. This is not an attack. This is not an attack. Hear me out. Again, the real issue is not about you getting the money or asking the money. Really, it's not. Because, to be honest with you, a lot of people do that. Period. All over the world, everywhere. Americans, British, you name it. Filipinos do it too. That's not the real issue. The real issue is you can't bring down the people around you. You can't talk crap about them, especially Filipinos. You can't defame us. Okay? You can't do that. You can't do that to Ivy. You can't do that to me. You can't do that to Filipinos. But you
can't skip over immigration.
But you did it to those people you're living with.
Let me get something right. Some of the people that I live around are incredible people. And I think I'm going to put this on my Facebook to make sure it's understood. But when did this become a race issue?
What race issue?
Okay. You're turning into a race issue. I'm telling you what you can't do in the Philippines because I'm Filipino, she's Filipino, you're in the Philippines. It has nothing to do with race. Guess what? If we're in America and you're British, I would say, oh, you can't talk badly about Americans. Why? Because that's their country, their citizens, and you're not.
He is a guest in this country. I am a guest. Now, sometimes I don't think so. I go on about being a human being and part of the human race, and sometimes I'm not human, and I believe I should be able to go anywhere, and there should be one passport for everybody to go wherever. But those days in communism and all this stuff is dead and over, or supposedly, or whatever. But at this point, you're a damn guest in the country. And there's been times I forgot. You guys have heard me. You should have seen me when I was first here. I was like, dang, 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 dang. But when you're living here and you know you're permanently living here, or when you're visiting even more, you should be on your best behavior. Have I done things that are out of control? Yeah. I mean, in my own house, I've spouted some stuff, but he's still a guest. Now he's trying to retract that he said anything about the families out there. And that's bullcrap. So now he wants to take it back, a public statement. Okay, he's got a public statement and now he's saying, "Oh, they're great people." Are you kidding me right now? You just said they're holding you prisoner. They won't give you the keys. And he turned around on top of that and said that they won't let him out. He believes it's because of his money. It's about the money. Wow, are you kidding me right now? Are you even kidding me right now? Give him a ball and chain, right? In the second article, just to bring it up, he doubled down a few days ago and told them the Brit left fighting for life and homeless in the Philippines after his girlfriend had stabbed him and came down with Mpox, didn't mention the COVID anymore, reveals new anguish after public plea for cash had made him a target in the country. Okay, so that's kind of dragging the Philippines into it in whole. A British man who was forced to beg, by the way, he already admitted publicly that the UK embassy told him to start a GoFundMe to get home. Okay, so then he went to the newspaper and elaborated very small details of his life and then lied and scammed about the rest of it, dragging down Filipinos in Philippines. Conan White, left fighting for his life in the Philippines jungle, has denied that he is a scammer after being targeted by online trolls. And I want to let you know, for about a half a minute, me and George, being he mentioned us a few times on his GoFundMe page, that part of that was referring, but it seems to be he's attacking Ivy and her friends and other people trying to start things. And of course, if you read the original article, there's over 1,000 comments, and I guarantee 99% of them says he's a scam, and they break it down. And it didn't take long for his story to unravel here. But it said that he has been stranded in Mindanao wilderness for over a year. Now, by the way, I have footage where he's karaokeing. Okay, during this year, he's eating hot chili peppers with the ex-girlfriend's family, and they're speaking English fine. Shows him at Christmas time, he's fine. It doesn't look like much of a struggle to us. Okay, and so much for being held captive. Believing that he was on the brink of certain death, Conan last week desperately reached out to Mail Online to tell his tragic tale and bring to the public awareness to his harrowing situation. You know what's harrowing? The American that disappeared in Mindanao. They still can't find him. That's harrowing, dude. What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? But as well as a flurry of support, okay, his story is met with cruel comments. What are you talking about? You're the damn newspaper that put that on there, Daily Mail. Daily Mail put this article out and did yellow journalism, okay, and believed everything he said, and they continued to print it. Look at the recent articles that they put out. It's the type of journalism that they're actually doing. It's basically just a major tabloid paper. It seems to be unchecked facts because he has spilled his own beans, and it took a small YouTubing channel to actually find this because he's dogging the Filipinos and the Filipina, and now going on about where he's living and collecting money. So he's now involved outsiders collecting money. And I'd probably say it appears to be about 5 comments state, "Hey, don't worry about what people say, and you know, you need the money and you're sick." And we said there's a small percentage of me that says, "Hey, I understand that he could be sick, not that sick. Okay, it's not like he can't even get out of bed. No, the guy made it to be that bad, and we can clearly see there's nothing wrong with him. If he has this ability, he has the ability to get on an airplane." But he's been met and being labeled repeatedly as a scammer. He has been pushed to delete his social media. By the way, he deleted his social media before he did the GoFundMe. He's been deleting posts to hide himself, as he probably should. I had to take down all my Facebook posts from the last 2 years because people have been saying awful things. Several people have also contacted this Brit via social media about his well-being. They think that I'm in serious danger of being beaten up or worse. Well, you think? After everything that you said? Are you kidding me? So he doubled down with the Daily Mail, but yet said they changed the article information. And he's wondering, honestly, I was really surprised that he came on. And I'm glad he did, because immigration now has a copy of this video. It's
Nothing to do with race. But since you're in the Philippines, you can't defame Filipinos because we're citizens and you're not.
I can
correct.
disagree.
It's
with
a big
you.
law
It doesn't
here.
matter, the
Oh,
Filipino.
now you're disagreeing. Now I'm lying, right? Now I'm making things up, right?
What?
I'm
What the heck?
Filipino. You
So
can ask
what?
Ivy. I'm pretty sure she agrees. You can ask every Filipino in this chat. They'll tell you, yeah, you can't do that, bro.
Do what?
You said you read the article, everything that you
You
told us.
said everything bad about the Philippines and people around you, including the ones that are helping you.
Hang on. So if you're in Britain and all the people around you are British and you don't agree with some of them, does that mean you're anti-British?
What the heck?
That was way
Yeah,
out
he's
there,
like
man.
that.
Just sit your
He
ass
is
down.
like
But the
that.
Philippines has laws. Bottom line is you defamated
You
the
defamated.
Filipino people,
Yeah,
and it
you
is
can't
against
do
the
that.
law. You can't even raise your voice at a Filipino
And
at all.
You are trying to do the agenda now that I'm a racist, and that's what you're trying to paint. You're trying to.
You
whip
brought up
your-
race, dude. Pay your immigration and get the hell out of the Philippines. You are not that sick. You are conning the system. You're cooked. You're as good as cooked. I hope you sleep at night. Keep doing your little Facebook, because they're going to forget about you in about 3 days. You're done. Keep writing your post, because I already see nobody cares. We're done with this dude. You're cooked. You're as good as cooked. You're not paying your immigration. You defamated people. You are not that sick. You used the system, and you should have paid your immigration. That's what was most important. You were abusing the hospitality of these Filipinos, and you're still out there doing it. And I warned you, you're out there among the people that you dogged. I hope you sleep good at night, Mr. Locked Up and Held Prisoner. I'll be sure to report that for you. You're done.
Thank you.
You're done. He's done. Ivy, he's cooked.
Yeah.
In my
If he's
opinion,
like
you need to
that,
do everything you can do, because they will listen to a Filipino. All right, guys. So sorry about that, Ivy. So hook 'em, cook 'em, and book 'em. I'm telling you right now, he's lucky that I was Christian last week, considered Scientology, and now a Tesla leader. I'm just joking about the Tesla leader. I'm just making that one up. So, but I'm telling you, there's been a lot of things happening in the last 30 days that I've that my lupus has got a hold of me. I promise you. And believe me, with enough issues going on, I'm gonna take care of business. I promise you that all day long. But this guy is horrible. Defamate on that shit, because he would have never done something like that to me. And I've been in relationships where I've been abused. You guys have seen me cry on air over it. You've seen other people come on during the live stream trying to bring up my past and bringing up that I got beat when that person was acting up on the live stream. And I've been through stuff, but I've also aged and gotten wiser. And there's always a different side to each story. And I get the past is the past and all of that. He's the one that dug all that up. Ivy was minding her business when he came up, and so was that family that's been taking care of him, and the ex-girlfriend that was taking care of him. And he just went into a victim stuff. And now, the day after the live stream, I see that he's been doing online teaching. Now, I can't confirm how much money he's made or what he's been doing, but he's got several pages. And he's recently posted several pages on Facebook, still looking for work. We don't know what kind of money he's made. Okay. And he's collected, what, 3,000 almost? It's at least 3,000, because the pound conversion is even more. And oh, the Daily Mail version is a U.S. National Enquirer. Yeah, I've seen some of the stories recently. They hit a all-time low with that guy not being circumcised. That was really bad. Even George was like, ugh, it was bad. Um, but we get what kind of paper it is. But he tried, it's just, this has got to be put in the top 3 stories and things that have been done by expats that we've covered. We covered um we covered him, we covered this guy now in town, and of course the food stamp guy just trying to get attention. And but this one is beyond attention. He just gathered money just to pay his bills. He has no intention to leave, I promise you. The excuses he's making, he has no intention to leave, guys. And unless immigration goes and gets him, he's never going to leave. He will just sit out there and he thinks he's untouchable. And he, it's just bad. And so what'll happen is when the money runs out, he'll say he didn't get his health certificate, that he was locked down. There'll be a whole nother excuse. And then he's just going to keep on going. So it's crazy. Speaking of crazy, these kittens are kind of try to go through these comments here. Sharing is caring. I put some of these up. I'll just kind of choose your mate more carefully, both sides of the coin. Yeah, but we all know that almost all of us at our age, anything over the age of 40, which is most of the people that comes to our page, we've all been through these and made mistakes. You cannot get every bit of information on everybody. And then you're just blind to the other stuff. There are things about me that George probably didn't think about that we deal with, or like vice versa. You don't know a person, and over time they can definitely change. You grow apart, your actions change, and you just don't know. Yes, you see them red flags, but other things are involved. By that time, it's usually where you either work them out, there's other circumstances going on. Like her, she wanted him to become self dependent so she could have him leave. She gave him a chance when she knew. We've all done that. We've all actually been there. Oh, swearing in Spanish. Hey, Slick Rick. Yeah, I'm a late bloomer and I'm stupid in that area. Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, as I was discussing before on age gap relationships and talking about, being with a Filipina, when there's a little bit of a difference, sometimes they're so friendly and so caring. They also see you as a serious family member. And I truly believe she's seen that. They want to take care of you. They see you, because not all those relationships, they're looking at you like, hey, sexy. You know what I mean? It is not lust. My first relationships were probably lust, maybe even my second one when I was in my 30s and in my second marriage. But at this point, and then probably in the beginning of this relationship, but it's you get the point. That stuff dies out, and then it's just like, your family at this point. And I believe she was trying to take care of them. And they're probably going to rally something up. That's probably. I was able to talk the other woman. She is in contact already with the DSWD and the LGU. Oh, are we talking about the nursing woman and the other people? Yeah, he's just too cocky about it. I got an attitude and all that, but my documents are legal. I'm legal. I haven't done anything illegal here. And I get that I'm snide sometimes and it upsets people. I'll go when they put me in that jail cell with Mr. Jordan. I'll go when I'm ready to go. And then I'm just going to go. My family will buy the ticket or I'll use the money and then I'll just be taken home. The delayment is I'm not having any money. The same with World Zoom. When you get so much of your stuff processed at that point, it was a matter of time. He was going home anyways. But the guy on top of that lied about the Philippines all the way around, doubled down. I can't even, say enough. Yeah, he's definitely playing the victim. And thank you so much, Jennifer. Have no idea. Jungle Man, Space Cowboy, there's so much to say about that guy, but we can't keep up on everybody. We covered him. I always check in on the stories George does for about a week or two. Someone asked about Daryl on the page. Miles Ham, the other British guy, his page shows nothing. His Facebook shows nothing. I know that at one point he was with the family. Don't know any updates, but as far as Jungle Man, hard saying. It's possible. There was even a denial that it even had anything to do with uh, the green stuff or whatever he was being accused. Hey, David, what a weasel. By the way, he said that he hired a local lady to clean the ex-girlfriend's mother. So I figured that. So he's probably paying her a little bit of money, and that's just it. It wouldn't cost anything to do that. And if he's even paying 500 pesos, it's too much. And here, didn't I mention this the last time? I'm a big girl, and I can clip my own toenails. I wouldn't need somebody to clean the bottom of my foot. The mentality. He is the weakest. The boy couldn't, at this point, pretends he couldn't whip his way out of a wet paper bag or something. And the race thing, what is he talking about? Race, as if I said that his name, Conan White, is about the most crackerest thing I ever seen. Mr. Cracker White. What are you talking about, race? Are you going to turn it into a racial thing, Mr. Cracker? Are you kidding me right now? What the heck? Jiminy crackers. Oh my God. I believe that. So the guy just keeps, oh my God. Give him the ball and chain. They got him locked up so he can keep his GoFundMe going to give them all the money from it. Well, isn't it weird that he cashed out the day of the live stream? I mean, go ahead, boy, get your money. And then he said it was the embassy that told him that. Dang, maybe, hey, maybe I can make a phone call. Hey, I wonder if the embassy would talk to me. Say, you got a statement on this Conan White? It said that you told him to get a GoFundMe to get out of here? Oh my God, why didn't you tell that to the newspaper? YouTube is ending tourism. Philippines is too much toxic people being exposed. It is not, Patriot Life. Are you kidding me? We go on about the touristy tourism videos out there. It is not videos like this. A lot of the people that are watching this, I mean, think about all the people that are there's tons of dramatic stuff out there. It is not going to end tourism. And I believe me, there's just as many Filipinos reporting about Filipinos than there are expats talking about expats, or Filipinos talking about expats that talk about things that go on here. So it's not one, and it's just not YouTube. Facebook is the biggest thing that puts information out there right now. As far as what's going on here, it's the no, it's not going to end tourism. The Philippines would be the one if they have to reinvest and revamp all the stuff here. I think nobody's going to be able to fix that until the government goes through and fixes things like the disposal of trash, cleaning up the streets, better roads, and all these things. The infrastructure has to improve. The YouTube ending tourism is, I give it possibly 1% of what's going on. But yeah, wait, I get it. Seems that way. Get a GoFundMe doesn't sound like something an embassy would do. I don't think so either. They might have said something about if you're that sick, you may want to. They might have, but I don't. It just doesn't seem like a real logical thing to have that come back on them. Oh, they wouldn't help me and told me to go get a GoFundMe. He's just a pure victim. Oh man, he is a 5150, right? Imagine how dysfunctional his life was back in the UK. I also seen that his name was next to being in Oregon. I guess he was in the United States and married to an American. He has a son in the US. So I don't know how much time he lived in the US, guys. I know his name. I just seen today, it shows his name and it shows Oregon on something. If you just put in his name and put the newspaper or put Philippines or something with very little search, it came up that he was, but it does confirm that. I just don't know how long he was living there. Was he a scammer in the UK also? It sounds like a long life trend. I know that he also lied to the papers. He didn't give up a job. He told in the original newspaper article that he gave up a job to come to the Philippines for her, and he was fired. We showed that article also. We showed where he had talked with somebody where it's emails between him and the company. And basically, he said he was going to confront his clients, and they said, "No, dude, you're done. We're letting you go." So basically, he was let go. He was fired. He didn't quit his job just to come for. No, dude. Don't know, David, but they really magnify what they are in the Philippines. The home country keeps in a line to degree the boom. They blossom out to what they really are as soon as they arrive. Gotcha. Hey, what's going on? He is a chameleon. He can do anything you want him to do. To be personality wise, when he was at the top of his game, he was charming. I fell for his trap. I think we all do. It doesn't matter how good looking, how ugly, how whatever. The people can be charming. It's just love bombing. I think a lot of people tend to put forward their best in the beginning, and that's how guys end up with psycho women that they find out later was just total psychos, or how the same with women, you can get a psycho man, or that they become cheaters, or they found out that like some of the Filipinas here that I've heard, they end up with guys that extremely smoke too much, drink too much. I mean, all day long they complain about them on Facebook, but people are going to be people. It's just what you can actually deal with, or what you can. But him, I believe so. The Philippines leader in drama watched enough celebrities there and their habits. Were you still talking about YouTube? I'm not sure. Classic narcissistic personality disorder, 100%. Everything was blaming, like the original article. And if you went to his GoFundMe page from the beginning, his statements, everything was just really bad. He took no responsibility, and we asked him to take responsibility. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it so much. Is that Aline or Alan? Might be Alan or Aline Sanchez. Thank you, Sanchez, so much. We appreciate that. I was emotionally invested for sure. That's why I stayed that long, and also felt obligated to take care of him. Yeah, I mean, at some point it would just, become family situations. I've been married a few times. I've had relationships in my life, and I know when the relationships were going bad. But I was always like, oh, I know what I did. And then I worked on myself. It's like, okay, do you need therapy? Do you need to do this? Is there something you can do to improve? And then I go through, okay, maybe I should have cleaned more, cooked more. You start going through all these things and how you can improve yourself. And then you just have to see how things actually mend through and work out. And then add that you're like him as an expat in another country, you would think that there would be some better behavior, but he evidently doesn't get it. And there you go. He is an arrogant old fart. He just doesn't get it. And he's still arrogant, saying, I don't think he thinks anybody's coming for him. But he did blame that other people are going to come from him or come for him. And it's like, it's all made up in his head. And then in the end, he actually had made a statement that he felt that it was her, that it was Ivy that knew his address and asked about it, that she was coming for him. No, there were nurses and other people that truly wanted to send help and come there. If he could not, the way he talked, he was bedridden. And as we can see, that's not true. So I'd come and go whenever, stay all year. Got to love the Billy Buying program. I come and go whenever and stay all year. Yeah, I mean, with being married, my first year was on that. I came in during the pandemic. We had to wait for the country to reopen, for those that don't know. And if you guys have not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. I have to throw that in there. Hey, hello, and Heidi and George. Held captive title is gone. Yeah, he changed the GoFundMe, and someone said the article got changed by Daily Mail. I didn't see the difference. We have it screenshotted, but there might have been some words that we missed. But he did change that. He's changed it several times, and he deleted some recent stuff. It doesn't mean that he's guilty. Everything he said on here showed that he's guilty. He's got the money. Now he's not going to buy a ticket. He'll live on that money for the next 3-4 months. He's going to have to. And they should try to find a way to get him out. They should bring him in, make him pay the fees with the money that he's got, and then have him leave. So I don't get it. Instead, he's going to be left there to just spend the money, and then he won't do anything. No one will follow up. Nobody will care. And then he'll just sit there and find another Filipina to do this. I was surprised that he found that he was able to move on. It makes sense now that he was cheating at this time. Because in the beginning, now that I think about it, I was like, who would actually take him on after the fact? I kept saying it, but looks like he was cheating the whole time. But there could be somebody there now, because according to him, she cheated on him and he's no longer with the girl. Or is he? We don't know. We don't know. The resorts and hotels are empty. Yeah, they probably are. I've seen a lot of the YouTubers that'll show they're going to these places, and a lot of them are still empty. Yes. And 1 or 2 articles said they didn't meet their quota, and then a bunch of them say that they did meet their quota for this year. That it's beyond what it was before, but it's hard saying. These videos actually make tourists. You answer a lot of questions, and it makes people want to come despite the issues. We realize the issues are self-created. Yeah, a lot of this, I mean, I sometimes get excited based on what we're covering, because it kind of drives some of the other points we've been doing, and it's content. It's not easy doing a live stream. I get that I talk about scripted content and that people do these different things. And then, oh, by the way, my notes the other day, it was crazy. The cats did get it. The cats, and I made a joke that it might be them in the end. And yes, I found it partially chewed on the floor. That could have been Mary, but I probably either put it next to me. So the notes that I had put like 1, 2, 3, like what I was going to discuss, because there were so many questions that I actually had. But no, it's got to be covered. And I know that's why people watch. They don't know when I'm going to pop off. They don't know if George is going to pop off. They don't know. We tried to do something different, and I just didn't want to cover this by itself. And I was like, might as well mention that he's working, and that just shows he's had money, and that he just doesn't want to get out. And you don't want to be stuck like that. I know that Gio in the Philippines does online teaching. I know Mark Thornton did online teaching for part of his money, and it's very unreliable income. But on the other hand, when it first happened, you could make money, but now it's oversaturated. So the level of making money is way out there. And in a manner like that, the online teaching is, you just can't make your money. You need a substantial income, or you need to have a good job. Like with all the stuff going on in AI or other jobs in your country, you need to bring that income with you when you come here. But there's so much to actually learn. I'm kind of all over the place right now. Dog out there barking, but no, I get that. Hey, what's going on, Pablo? I'm late and think that was a good point. If David Campbell can fly, so can Conan, or me. I know that I look healthy to you guys, but my lupus affects all my organs. There's some days I can barely lift my arms where it feels like my arms are broken. I feel like I've got brittle bone syndrome throughout my entire body. And I can't even, like, I've used wheelchairs in the house, but I haven't had to do that. It's probably been more than a year since I've had to use any like device like that because I was so weak. It's because I've been on constant steroids. So, which is not good either. It's got its own effects. And so I don't want to have to do that either. But if I can too, and if David can, for Christ's sake, he can. He said that he doesn't have the ability to get there and that he doesn't feel that he can pass that. He doesn't need a health certificate to fly. That's just it. He doesn't need one. That is not up to him. He just needs to get the ticket. So it's an excuse. And that's the biggest thing. He's, at the excuse. Yeah, I don't know what the 44 is. Haunted. Yeah, there it is. From the windows to the wall. Skeet, 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 skeet. Yeah, George does the big brr, brr, whatever he does. Brr. I just do the bear thing on that expat that was here in Angel City and Cebu. And then I was like, skeet, skeet, skeet when he does the brr thing. So to the windows, to the walls. Yeah, the Filipina P is peeking in, I see. Yeah, I doubt that's her. So I mean, we've had contact with the P in the past, but it's been a while. We used to, in the height of her career change from, different things that she's done, and she's got into YouTubing. We have her on Messenger, but it's been a long time, and I doubt that she is. I don't know if she's still in the U.S. or not. I haven't seen. I just seen her thumbnails, but haven't seen her videos. But I'm sure that she's enjoying herself. So, but I would doubt it. Can I visit you to interview you guys personally? Contact us at philippineantics@gmail.com, and then we will see what the schedule is. We just had 2 people that asked recently to meet up with us, and it's just been really busy and everything. But yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Everyone was so invested to rescue him when he said that he was being held captive. That's it. It was just bad. And he started his GoFundMe with corruption. And I was like, dude, every chance he had, he knocked everything down. That's a little strange. We've never had somebody ask us on air, and the answer is no, of course. No, sorry. Anybody, even people that we've known for a while, there's only 3 people I can think of that I would give my home address out to direct. So, but I mean, it's evident actually somewhere where we're at, but it's kind of like Old Dog that had people show up at his house. We've had people show up at the other house, and we just don't let people in, unfortunately. We meet with people at destinations. We have 2 or 3 destinations, and we can actually do that. So, cool new channel for you. Judge Heidi, expats behaving badly. You handle him nicely. Would be cool to see other expats on your channel trying to defend themselves. Well, that's not really where I'm at. It gave Ivy a chance because she has not heard from him in a long time, and then he goes and puts this out and re-brings things up, and it just was really bad. We have had people on here before, and I don't know. It just has to be, and this always goes through George, by the way. A lot of people seem to think that it's 100% me, but everything does go through him. Like every day, it's a discussion on what's done. We both go through the channel and answer comments, and it's just where it is. But it just you never know if you're going to end up on our channel. That's just where it is. Yeah, most definitely. Right, Cody? You're done. We'll call it You're Done Talk Philippines. And you're cooked. You're cooked, man. Cook 'em, and book 'em. Well, he more than he's got, but the Philippines will work with him. So considering the problem is there's not a cap on it, and if he hasn't paid in several years, you're talking. Let's see, 60. It's $60 every 2 months, give or take. It's 3,000 pesos, 60. It'd be up there. That's all I can say is he won't have enough money to cover that ever. He has to go in and find out what that is. He keeps saying there's a bunch of stuff that the embassy. I should have took the time. I just didn't feel the need to contact the UK and find out what it would take to get out of the country. I mean, I'd have to say, "Hey, I'm a UK citizen," blah blah, and I just didn't feel like going through there and lying to him just to get information. But I don't get all the paperwork they're looking to get him out. There isn't any paperwork. I mean, for the most part, he needs to deal with the Philippines. He can get a letter from them to pass for the visa or for his passport. He did not pay for his passport either. So I'm sure they'll knock the fees down, but I believe all he has to do is turn himself in and they're just going to deport him anyways. Most of those fees should disappear and then he just needs the ticket money to get out. But if he doesn't do any of that and then he gets arrested and this all goes down, it could be a whole different issue. He really needs to, he owes a lot. You need to be a rock solid teacher. I'm teaching online, but I also write grants on the side. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I'll tell you, we came in 2020, I believe was 2020. And when we arrived, at least 2021, I have to look. I don't have my passport. It's over there because we're going to be doing some stuff today. But when I came in a couple years ago, and at that point, I know, like I said, every man was teaching, and there was a bunch of the guys teaching in Dumaguete. And they said at first they could make the money, but as soon as the country reopened, and then other people start signing up for it because of the pandemic. Like when I was in there on that teacher site, there were tons of Filipinos teaching English and Tagalog. And I don't see how you can really compete with that because they'll do a lower, and he's charging $7 per teaching thing. So yeah, you would have to be really super rock solid. And we knew another British guy that was doing it also. His name's Carl, and he was doing it for a long time, and he was always busy with it. Yes, his defaming of the Filipino people, period, should get him out of the country. No, he flat out, and we have screenshots of that. We have all of his original stuff and everything that he just printed recently. We've done screenshots. He re-put stuff up there, still talking about Ivy and everything, and still going on. He didn't say much about us, but he went on about her, and so he seems to be stuck on that. And his original words, it's just all over the place. Haha, you got your breakfast in? I ate a donut. George picked up donuts 2 days ago, and he went to go check. He goes, "There's still donuts here?" I was like, "Well, yeah." It's like, I mean, I got to cut back on the sugar for sure, but yeah, it's got some half stale donuts. Still got bacon though. Oh, snap, snappy. He might need soap on a rope. He might need some self defense. If he thought of something, he will try to pass it as truth or fact, just like the Mpox. Yeah. So he's a real good elaborator, storyteller, emphasizer, manipulator. That's the bottom line. He ain't gonna run that past me. And, just it's just where it is. I don't understand that one. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'll put it up anyways. I don't know what people don't understand. If you're a weirdo in your own country flying across the world to exploit a 58-1 exchange rate, I wouldn't see it as exploiting. It's just cheaper to live here. Exchange rates won't change the fact that you're reenacting a soap opera. Yeah. I'm assuming you're talking about him because everything he's doing is dramatic. Yeah, P, not P. Yeah, no, I got that. Have no idea, Patricia. And we stopped following that because the other channel that was saying things about him, he came back and we definitely can't. We allowed the guy to say what he had to say. There were outside sources, including people that we talked to on the phone that lived in his house currently that talk crap about him. So we know some of the stuff that was being said could be possibly true about Q. After he came back and made up a blah blah blah, I'm like, I was just 100% done with that. We knew he would make up an excuse, and we weren't going to follow that because there could be truths on both sides about each other, and the guy seemed to be hell bent on covering the tax situation that he didn't pay into his social security, and it was weird for me, all the stuff that was going on. That's what he wanted to prove. So there's like this one, there's a lot going on, the immigration part of it and all that, and this could be that Q's got issues going on. It's hard to say, but I don't know, I don't know. Ugh, I don't know. Okay. So I'll put this up, and then I'm trying to understand why all these people are following a dream, sitting online, talking about each other. Bored, I'd say. No, not really. There's tons of other channels. It's just not the Philippine genre or people. I mean, we know there are a lot of people that watch these Philippine shows that'll never come here. Sometimes they're invested in the individual vlogger. Drama sells no matter where, no matter, it doesn't matter. All channels pretty much have covered it, or they like the ones that are covering life here in the Philippines. They over exaggerate things that are going on here for views, and I think it's just media. So I wouldn't say bored. I think everybody's bored at one point or another. So just don't feed him to the sharks like the poor kid Eastman. Yeah, Eastman, poor guy. That's an issue going on there. There was somebody isolated in problems. He should have done a GoFundMe page. Meet people at Ice Station Zebra. 3 years overstay as I never showed up to pay was 2,400 USD, because that wouldn't be pesos, because it's 3,000 every 2 months here in Angel City. So you must be talking about USD, because there's something compiled. Many students want a native English speaking teacher. Sadly, Filipinos have to charge around $10 or less. Yeah, he's charging 7. I'm at 25 an hour, and you have 40 hours a week schedule. Wow. Yeah, no, he's charging 7. When he said he was being held captive, this is extremely serious, especially after the Elliot Eastman. I hope the BI picks him up. Yeah, that was really bad. It doesn't matter. That was really bad. And then he actually stated that it was because of his money. Everything was added. And then he tried to slightly say it was a newspaper that was changing some words. So he wanted you to think that not all of it was him at this point, because he knows now. That's why he couldn't sleep, because after we did the live, okay, he had already told us the very first live stream that he was losing sleep, that people were, bothering him. And no, he knew at that point, he messed up by saying that he was being held captive. Sweetie, the kittens are here. What's wrong, sweetie? She's acting weird. She's looking for the babies. They're up here, but she's got a collar on, and I think being the collar's moving, she's acting like clothes when she's walking. She's kind of stumbling. So many of the teaching websites haven't been accepted English teachers for a very long time since the pandemic. Many people think they can travel the world remotely teaching English part-time. Yeah, I just think it's getting to be oversaturated. You said P and not P. All right, guys, I think I will wrap this up. Sweetie, they're right here. Come here. Come here. Here they are. They're just sitting right here. Right here. And there's another one here. She's looking for the kittens. It's crazy how she calls. Here, right here. Yeah, they're all here, sweetie. They're all here. Here, mommy. Yeah, up here, mommy. Say, mommy. I tried to put the collar on her, but I don't think she really likes it. It was originally on the puppy, and it's got a dangling chain, but it doesn't fit her anymore because she's too big, and I've got to wash the puppy today. I don't think I'm going to cut her hair. It's already as long as it's going to get. I'm just going to keep it off her toenails. But thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys joining us. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. For those watching through Philippine Antics and Expat Talk, which is the second channel. And it looks like George is still out and about. So I'm going to cook him some bacon. So we appreciate you guys joining us, and we will see you Saturday when George returns. All right, guys. Thank you for all of the new membership and the subscribers and everybody. Thank you, Ted. Thank you to our moderators. Thank you, Sarah, everybody. And we will talk to you later. I will talk to you later.